Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not, and we're talking about the episode, season 3, episode 10. 10. Whisper. In this episode, Clark gets a new Superman power, super hearing, and I can hear nothing. I can hear myself. Everything else go bye-bye, like I'm about to do. Like that noise, I can't hear it. Hear it now. Not anymore. I don't know. That has literally nothing to do with the episode, but okay. So in this episode, Clark tries to thwart a bank robbery, or jewelry store robbery rather, using his heat vision when it hits a meteor rock, embezzled jewelry, embedded jewelry with kryptonite on it. It fires back, causing him to be temporarily blind. And when Pete is eventually kidnapped, because he is the son of the Judge Ross, and held for ransom, for the release of the other guy, there's a guy that is arrested, and he's held hostage. So you release him, I'll release Pete, But, meanwhile, other stuff going on. Chloe is exposed thanks to Clark's super hearing, and when he overhears a conversation, he repeats that conversation to Lex. When Lex confronts his father about it, Lex unintentionally gets Chloe in trouble. And it swirls all around. And then there's Lana. Clark has no eyesight, and Lex is angry, and Chloe is backstabbing. And then there's Lana, and then the guy with weird sound things, and Pete is held hostage, and he could die. And then there's Lana. Then there's Maud. That's what I was trying to do. Only no B. Arthur here. Can you imagine if B. Arthur was put on the show? I don't know what she would be. Anyway, we start the episode. Clark is at the jewelry store checking out some jewelry for his mom for her birthday. She's never out again after this. And he's like, he looks at the price tag. Is there anything that wasn't that expensive? And so he's like, we have some costume jewelry. And it's all meteor rock stuff. Encrusted, not embezzled. Meteor rock encrusted. That's what I was trying to say. Meteor rock encrusted. Of course, he's like, I'll just look at them, And then someone comes in. This guy, we don't know the guy's name. He comes in, and he does this sound, messes with his Clark's head. He tries to use his heat vision, and it hits the dynamite, kryptonite, encrusted, whatever. Jewelry fires back, hits him in the eyes, and he ends up blind. Yes, and I'm going to point this out right here. Okay, point this out right here. Tom Welling's blind acting is fantastic. You're blind, so you gotta. Okay, listen. A lot of times you could put the shades on and just do that, but you also have to make sure you don't look directly at someone, and you have to sort of. A lot of times they'll look off in a different when they're talking, because or they'll just sort of look stationary. Yeah, well, not like I could do anything about it. I couldn't see. Sometimes he'll turn, but it won't look right at them. He'll just sort of turn in their direction. That sort of thing. I don't know if I could play a blind person. If I played a blind person, I have to have the sunglasses on. It would be the only way I could do it. I don't know if I could hold my eyes steady enough, but Tom Welling, he does pretty good. So, yeah. Eventually, like, Pete finds him all the way down on the other side of the farm, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, it turns out I know every inch of this farm, even blind." And then that's when the guy shows up. He's like, first of all, the guy's like, "Ross, get in the truck." And he's like, "What? Pete, who is that?" And he does the thing. He's like, "Ah," and then, of course, the truck has this like a jalopy type sound. So he tries to hone his abilities, much like before. So he has like this powers bandsaw going, he has other stuff going, and then he has to hear his dad's voice, which does help, you know. Kind of like how he had to keep using his heat vision on that scarecrow and stuff. He has to do that with this, and he does. But when Clark is in the school earlier, he overhears a conversation between Chloe and Lionel. And, you know, this is a decent way for him to find out about this. He finds out about their deal. But basically, Chloe has ended the deal, but, you know, Lionel won't take no for an answer because he's one of those guys that just wants... He won't take no for an answer. I wouldn't be surprised if killing his parents isn't the only thing he should go to jail for. I feel like he should be on some sort of list if he's the kind of guy who won't take no for an answer. I feel like there's some women out there who could, you know, make some claims. I'm just saying. Chloe keeps telling him no. You know, she's done. And, you know, he had threatened her father's job before, and eventually she does tell him, no, fuck off, I'm not doing this anymore. Basically, she doesn't say that, because you can't do that. Standards and practices and stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of talk on the Talkville podcast about guns. Like, putting the gun to the chest, you can't put it gun to the face. You can't have them smoking cigarettes. You can show a cigarette, but it can't be lit, which is why Legends of Tomorrow gets away with Constantine, where just before he's about to light it, it's taken away from him. If you watch those seasons, just before he's about to light it, it's taken away. They did show weed, but it's they don't show them smoking it, and it's kind of held away. They don't show it, it's holding it, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Because I believe Youngstein just like, and hands it to, what's her name? Sarah. Anyway, back to this show from 20 years earlier. But yeah, so like there's certain things you can and can't do is my thing. So, I don't know what that does with this episode. Like guns and stuff are never going to be pointed in the face. They're going to be pointed at the chest or at some kind of angle, you know, in the direction. So it's found out that Pete is that hostage. We know that this guy is holding Pete hostage, and he will let him go only when his partner is allowed to be let go. Okay? Or they're gonna kill Pete. So Clark has to hone his powers to try to do it, like I said. Eventually, he starts to get some eyesight back. There's a scene when they go to the Talon. There's a scene where Clark's sitting in the truck, and Lana comes out. And, okay, I'm calling bullshit on this excuse. Okay? So, Jonathan gets out, and immediately, like, 5 seconds later, Lana gets in the car. The truck. And she's like, oh, your dad told me you were out here. And I'm like, no, he didn't even have time to go in the freaking door. No. So he leaves, because even Clark says, he's like, I'll be right back. And he goes in, then the door opens and shuts again. He's like, oh, that was quick. And it was Lana. And I'm like, and she's like, your dad told me you were out here. I'm like, no, they should have waited a little more time. That was not enough time for Jonathan to get in to go into the Talon, tell Lana to come out. You need, I don't know, a minute, maybe, for it to make sense. Not Jonathan gets out, leaves, 5 seconds later, door opens again, it's Lana. Oh, your dad told me you were out here. No, not enough time passed. Too quick. It was too quick in succession. But while they're sitting there talking, and by the way, like, oh, you know, maybe I made a mistake, and then he puts his hand on Lana's and she pulls away, because we can't have them be together at all, because we do find out later it's because of Adam that she met someone and she doesn't know how that's going to go. Yeah. The way that goes, I would have stayed with Clark, knowing hindsight 2020. But this is where he hears the same sound that he heard when it took Pete. So his plan, he tells Lana to go in and tell his dad. And then he goes out and somehow knows that this is the right vehicle. Maybe the sound helped that. Grabs onto the back and just takes off. Like Seth in the Magnetic episode. And ends up at this place where he finds Pete. He's not able to save him because of the guy's powers. But his eyesight does start to come back a little bit. It's just blurry. And then he's got to wear glasses. Clark Kent is wearing glasses. Clark Kent is wearing glasses. Superman nod. But eventually he's able to track down to a junkyard where he fights this guy. This guy does it himself. He uses his vibrating or whatever he's doing. That was a weird face. A bunch of cars fall down on the guy. He's dead. And then... So, but the way it looked, he was going to kill Pete no matter what. Because, no, the decision, I don't know. But, here's the thing, like... Originally, Clark's plan was to let the guy go and then follow him, and then he changed his mind. I don't know. We find out in the wraparound that Chloe has lost her column at the Daily Planet, and her father got fired all because she told, basically told Lionel to fuck off. Told him, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not spying on Clark anymore. I'm done. And he threatened her with it before, so he did it. Fires her father. She's not at the Daily Planet. And when Clark, turns out Lex was the one who fired her father because Lionel lied to him and told him that it was Gabe who was talking the shit about him behind his back and that Chloe must have heard it and told Clark. Clark should be like, no, I overheard her on the phone with your father. Why didn't, no, okay, it was Chloe. It was Chloe who told me. It was Chloe, but she didn't tell me. This is what she's like, no, Lex. It was Chloe, but she didn't tell me. I overheard her having a conversation with your father on the phone. And then I could raise, Clark, why would she be working with my father? I don't know. Maybe he believes in something with this wall of weird stuff. He was walking around there one day. Who knows? Who knows? But, I don't know. It kind of just... And then we get a Clark and Lana scene to end the episode. Is where she tells him that she's seeing someone else. And we get a song. We get a song by Kid Rock. I heard this song and I'm like, I know that voice. I know that voice. So I had my phone. You hold the thing or you say... blank Google. I don't want to say it because it might interrupt the thing. You activate it, the Google Assistant, and it'll pop up. And then I said, what is this song? And it told me it was by Kid Rock. I'm like, that is Kid Rock. I thought it was. But, this episode is getting a 2.5. For me, it's a little lacking. I said that this episode, this season, is my favorite. We're getting into the better ones, I think, going forward. I don't know. Asylum is the best episode this season so far, and I think it'll hold that. Or not Asylum. Sorry. Shattered. Shattered is the best episode this season. I think it's going to hold court on that one. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts on this episode? So make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.